What's up, Baldi? Happy Week 15 to you.
Happy Week 15 right back at you.
So we've been talking.
We're going crazy here.
Yeah, we've been talking all morning about Jayden Daniels being sidelined, not getting the start against the New York Giants. And look, it's a lost season. We all know this, but he's a young quarterback that needs to start games and develop in year 2. And it's been a horrible year for him as far as missing games, coming out of games early. What's your take on him being sidelined heading into this weekend?
Sidelined, and maybe more specific, and Baldi knows this, but with like a left elbow, all right? Unless he's like a classically trained celloist, he doesn't need the left elbow. I see your fingers going 100 different directions when I see you on TV. You know that you played with pain. These guys play with pain. Somebody is telling DQ, in our opinion, not to play him, and we know Jayden wants to play. What is your take?
Well, I mean, we just all watched Justin Herbert just got out.
Right.
A performance on Monday night after surgery on his hand, and I just watched Aaron Rodgers in Baltimore Sunday play with the cast on his left hand. I mean, if you're healthy enough to play, you got to play.
Left
elbow. I don't care what position it is.
Left elbow.
Left elbow. I mean,
how useless is that?
Well, it's not useless, but at the same time, guys play through this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so I believe if you're healthy, I mean, you saw Joe Burrow, answer a bunch of questions over Thanksgiving, like, why are you coming back to play? He's like, I love to play, and this is what I do, and I want to be out there with my teammates. And so I think Jayden wants to. I don't know where the directive is coming from, but, I mean, I would fight it with everything I had. We all can, talk about the things that we played with, but that's why every offensive lineman has some brace on his elbow because they've all been hyperextended and jammed and everything else. And so I think it's something that you can play with. And I think that all players, I don't care how young you are, have to play. There's nothing better than winning a football game and helping your team win a football game. And then you just need the experience. You have to kind of try to get a win and get that feeling back before this season all ends right now.
Baldi, if you had to guess, given that Dan Quinn said that Jayden could have come back in the game this past week, where do you think the directive came from? Is that coming from a GM? Is that coming from the owner?
It could be both. It could be, the head of the orthopedics and doctor. It could be, that wouldn't necessarily, usually doctors just tell you what's wrong and you make the decision. But it sounds like it might have come from up above, but I don't really know how the communication works with Josh Harris and, with the GM. So, I don't know.
Here's the conspiracy, Brian.
But also, I don't know, what was the score when he went out? I know they had
14-0.
Shut out 31-0.
14-0.
Right, so it was third quarter. So, it was an awful second half. I mean, all they did was turn the ball over. But that's all the more reason to play. Put the guy out there to come back and win a game against a team that was also struggling at that time.
Yeah, I don't believe it's Dan Quinn's decision at all. We're doing like an online poll, and 21% of our listeners think it's Dan Quinn. They're dumb. It's not Dan Quinn. He's a football coach. He said that he could have put him back in. He had Jayden Daniels out there in the Seattle game with that last drive when they were down 28-0. Okay, so it's not Dan Quinn. Some people think a small percentage that it's Jayden Daniels. I don't think it's Jayden Daniels.
No, he wants to play.
Yeah, I think he wants to play.
Here's the conspiracy.
But here's the other thing, real quick, Baldi. I mean, the Giants have a worse record than Washington. They're eliminated. But Jackson Dart, who's a young quarterback, he's going to go out there and play.
And he's been hurt a lot, too.
He's been hurt. He's had concussions.
Yeah.
They could have pulled him out, but they're not.
Here's the conspiracy, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's that there's an NBA influence here, right? Like with Myers,
Bob Myers,
with Harris, load management. This is what we do in the NBA, right? And so this season's shot, fella, you know what I mean? There's an angle.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
I hope that's not the case, because that's a bunch of just ask Mike. Just pick up any soundbite of Michael Jordan about load management. He'll shoot that right down.
Yeah.
After he played every single game, so many years.
But MJ's old school. Right.
Yeah, I know, but that is a problem though, because first of all, you can't bubble wrap a player. You can't legislate against injuries. You just can't. Injuries are going to happen. I mean, they happen in practice. They happen at the home. They happen in the game. They happen Daniel Jones was dropping back to pass, ready to throw, and his Achilles went. You can't legislate against this stuff.
Yep.
You have to play when you have an opportunity to play. Like, that's what I believe. Now, that's old school, but I mean, at the same time, unless you're putting a player in peril, where he could be further damaged, then you certainly don't put him out there. But, watching Justin Herbert look at that wrist every single second of the game and watching him take 10 hits as he's falling to the ground trying to protect the wrist, and they came out with a victory. Like, he didn't want to answer any questions after the end of the game. I don't blame him because, how you feel, how'd you do it? Like, he just wants to go in there and celebrate with his teammates a really much-needed victory. I think Jayden Daniels, I would think, wants to do the same thing, just knowing a little bit about the kid. I don't pretend to know him well, but I've talked to him a number of times. Like, this thing about the football in the NFL is totally different than the NBA. There's only 17 chances at this a year, and then you have, the next 35 weeks off. So, I think you got to take advantage of every opportunity you get out there to try to win a game.
All right, Baldi, I'm going to ask you, this might be a tall task, but I want to kind of flip things. You watch film as much as anybody. When you watch the Commanders, what are things to be encouraged by for next season? This is a team that won 12 games in the regular season last year, 2 playoff games. They're a game away from the Super Bowl. This season, off the rails. But when you watch the film, like, we've got a lot of fans that think, well, this team's got nothing going for them. What do they have going for them?
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. I just got pulled over by a police.
Oh, Lord. You have your phone up to your ear?
Oh,
geez. Can we hear it? Let's hear the confrontation.
Hang on, guys.
Yeah,
Be nice.
Yeah, we're going to keep you on, though.
If you're just really apologetic, it might help you.
This has happened twice now.
Did he put us on mute?
I believe.
But not from Baldi, right?
Not from Baldi, but was
Did
it
he have a coolie or something?
Matt Williams?
Oh, Matt Williams.
Yeah,
He
I
saw
think
an
you're right.
accident.
Manager?
He saw an accident. Remember, he got hit by a car.
Is that what it was? Okay, so a little bit different.
Did he mute us?
I don't know.
Probably.
He might have hung up on us.
I mean, it's probably not your best bet to say.
I think he moved
I'm on the radio right now.
I'm doing a radio hit.
By the way, insiders getting pulled over the police are brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
No, don't call him back. He's dealing with the cops.
If you had to answer that question, because I want to kind of flip it. Like, it's easy to point to all the things that they don't have, right? It's easy to go, oh, Bobby Wagner stinks, secondary stinks, this stinks. What do they have going for them?
Who?
The Commanders.
What are the positives heading into next year?
I can't think of many.
The healthy Jayden Daniels is a game changer.
Okay.
Good offensive line.
Yeah.
Solid running game when the pieces are right.
They need to get a better running game.
I think next year, going into next year, depending on what happens offseason.
Isn't it like second in the NFL?
I know, but that's.
I think you're going to think
running
about.
Backs for,
you know how we thought about the offense before the season?
Yeah.
I think that's what you'll think about, that's possible for next season.
Is he back?
I believe Baldi may be back.
All right, Baldi.
Did you get out of it?
No, it was they're doing this construction on the road, and they didn't want us to go through.
Oh, okay.
And the car in front of me went through, so I was just like going through.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, no, I'm good. I'm good right now.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So the question that I asked you was kind of like flipping it, because right now, you know how
about what do I see good from the Commanders?
Yeah, because you know how talk radio works. We focus on the negative, and everybody calls in and says the defense sucks, Cliff Kingsbury sucks. That, you know how it goes. So I just kind of want to flip the script.
Yeah, no, I think you had a young guy like Chris Paul has played well at left guard. Tunsil has been good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the offensive line, Biotish is a good player. I think the offensive line is pretty good.
Yeah.
The rookie has, had his ups and downs, but all rookies do at right tackle. But I think for the most part, the offensive line has played real well.
Right.
I don't think that's the reason. They've had a lot of injuries at at both the running back and at the receiver position throughout the year. So guys have been in and out of the lineup. Obviously, Terry McLaurin from the very beginning. I don't know what role, honestly, Debo really plays. He's kind of a gadget player more than somebody I think that you can build around at this point. It's I know Adam knew him from San Francisco and knows what kind of guy he is, but I don't know if that's receiver number 1 or number 2. I think they got to figure that stuff out. Obviously, losing Zach the other day was painful. But defensively, they got to get some pass rushers. They got to get younger. Bobby Wagner's a great player, but they got to get younger and faster. And the secondary really fell apart. They did not play well in the corner position. They got to kind of figure that stuff out. Marshawn did not come through for him, and it looks like they've got, to watch J.J. McCarthy throw one throw after another after the struggles that he had. I mean, he looked like he was going to the Pro Bowl the way he played against them the other night.
Yep.
All right, a bunch of big stories this weekend, kind of starting tonight. I mean, the Falcons are obviously out of it, but the Bucs have lost 4 of 5, trying to hold off the Panthers. The Panthers are going to play in New Orleans, so that's a big game, obviously, for the Panthers. So you got the Bucs game tonight. You've got the Bears in a must-win over the Browns. Ravens, Bengals, big game. Chargers, Chiefs, big game, obviously, for Kansas City. Bills, Patriots, huge. What game kind of stands out in your mind this week?
There's a bunch of them. I mean, Green Bay's going to Denver. You didn't mention that one, but that game, Green Bay has won 4 in a row right now. They just won basically a playoff game against Chicago. It was a great game. And Green Bay's favored for some reason, and Denver's got this 10-game win streak, and that quarterback is really, really good. That whole class looks good right now. Bo Nix has played very well. I mean, don't look at the stats. Just watch the way he plays. That guy is very elusive. And last week they played a ball control game. They had the ball for 40 minutes against the Raiders. They played a different style, but they can play any style. I mean, they ran it pretty good with the rookie R.J. Harvey last week. That's going to be a good game, really good game, because Denver can basically clinch the division for the most part. I mean, they still have to play the Chargers, but they can really get themselves. But if Green Bay goes in there, Green Bay might be the team to beat in the NFC if they go in there and beat Denver like that with that win streak that they have. That's going to be a great one. I think Buffalo and New England. New England went to Buffalo and won probably 2 months ago.
Yep.
Probably their signature win of the whole season. So let's just say they're coming off a bye. Let's see just how good they are. I mean, Josh Allen put the whole team on his back last week and was amazing in what he did. And so, Josh Allen could be, he was the MVP last year. He looked like the MVP of the league the way he played last week. And he's probably going to have to do the same thing this week up in Buffalo as New England comes to town. I think those games really stand out. I'm going to be in Kansas City for the Chargers in Kansas City, and this is it for Kansas City.
Right.
If they lose to the Chargers this week, then you can definitely count them out, and they're going to be out of the playoffs. And the questions are going to be asked, is the dynasty over? For sure, because right now they can't get explosive plays in the passing game, and they've had a revolving door at left tackle. They got a real weakness there, and the receivers drop way too many passes.
Baldi, let's talk about the Eagles for a second. Jalen Hurts seems broken as a passer right now. Last 5 games, 4 passing touchdowns, 5 picks, including that disaster against the Chargers on Monday night. Can they get that fixed and or turned around before the playoffs? Because they're going to win the division, but I just don't see them doing much in the playoffs if that passing game doesn't improve.
It's funny. Obviously, you can look at the stats and look at the interceptions, and that's real, especially the last one in overtime that happened on first down. And they ran the exact same play in the first half, and he completed the pass to the tight end, Dallas Goedert. And then he threw that ball into that window, and it just to Jahan Dotson, and it just didn't look right. Like, it's not a throw that he makes. He doesn't even attempt that throw for the moment. He's very, very cautious about the throws that he makes. So it's really not him. But there were some other plays in that game that he threw the ball really well, and throws that he hadn't been making, throws with anticipation, throws into some zone windows that he's been reluctant to throw, and he made those throws, and he looked really good when he did it. And then he made one ball. I thought A.J. Brown could have caught the touchdown pass that got ripped out of his hands. It was an excellent throw. But, they play the Raiders this week. They play the Commanders twice. I mean, they have a chance to win 11 or 12 games this year. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like some of these teams, and no offense to Washington, but they should win those games. And, if Blaine Johnson is going to come back either this week or next week, they do play Buffalo, which will be a real test to see what they might be like in the playoffs. And if they win outright here, I think they're still going to be a formidable foe.
Baldi, what's your reaction to Phillip Rivers' return? And how do you think he'd fare against Seattle this weekend if he were to step on the field?
I think he's going to have a hard time. I mean, I saw the press conference like all of us, and everybody likes Phillip Rivers. I'm not sure. I heard what he said about coming back. I think he's crazy. And the fact that, because what happens to any athlete, and it doesn't matter if you're a quarterback or a boxer or a hockey player. Like, what happens at his age after being out is your reflexes just go away. I mean, you might go in the backyard and throw the ball through the tire, have a catch for the kids and your high school guys that you're coaching. But this is the NFL, and Seattle's defense is excellent. Watching Devin Witherspoon and Emanwari play and how they blitz and how they get after quarterbacks, I mean, they've been destroying teams up there in Seattle. I don't think this is going to go well if he gets on the field. Just because you know the offense, you talk to the coach. I mean, that's not playing football. And he's like, well, we'll see how it goes. If the door's open, let's go. Well, I don't know if you want to find out against that team. And if he stays around for a month, they play Houston at the end of the year in Houston, and I don't think any team wants to see that defense.
How old were you when you retired from the Eagles?
I was 35.
35. So add 10 more years.
And I lied to myself. I used to say all the time as a joke, you play as long as you can and then 2 more years. And I literally was playing 2 more years. Like, I mean, I could get through a game, but I wasn't I didn't recover. I didn't practice. It was a struggle, and everybody's different. But at 35, I was done.
All right, Baldi, safe travels. Have fun in Kansas City this weekend, and we'll
Stay
talk to you
warm.
next week, my friend.
Okay, you got it, guys. Take care.
Thank
Yep.
you, buddy. That was Odyssey NFL insider Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast.